Alright, let's dive into something that's both fascinating and incredibly relatable: how a single farm worker with killer budgeting skills navigates the supermarket. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say this: what makes this story so compelling isn't just the numbers, but the mindset behind it. It's a masterclass in resourcefulness, and personally, I think we could all learn a thing or two from this approach. So, here's the setup. Our protagonist is a 41-year-old rural professional, working in the AG sector, who's been piecing together income through consulting and milking after being made redundant. The job market's tough, and she's making do with what's available. Her weekly income: around $500 to $600 after tax. Now, here's where it gets interesting. She spends just $70 to $100 on groceries, and not every week. What's her secret? Well, it's not just about cutting costs, it's about maximizing value. One thing that immediately stands out is her reliance on homemade solutions. She bakes her own bread, makes her own muesli bars, and even whips up batches of biscuits to freeze. What many people don't realize is how much money you can save by avoiding processed foods. Sure, it takes time, but if you take a step back and think about it, it's not just about saving money, it's about gaining control over what you eat. Plus, let's be real, homemade stuff usually tastes way better. Another detail I find fascinating is her approach to shopping. She's not just buying what's convenient, she's strategic. She waits for price cycles, stocks up on essentials when they're on sale, and isn't afraid to say, "I can wait till next week." This raises a deeper question: how often do we buy things out of habit rather than necessity? Her mindset is all about intentionality, and that's something I think we could all benefit from. Now, let's talk about her luxuries. She splurges on salon shampoo because, as she puts it, she's got difficult hair. But here's the thing, she doesn't just buy it anywhere. She shops around online to find the best deal. This isn't mindless spending, it's calculated indulgence. And honestly, that's a balance we should all strive for. What this really suggests is that frugality doesn't have to mean deprivation. She grows her own lettuce in the summer, takes advantage of free eggs from the farm, and even makes her own yogurt. It's a lifestyle that's both sustainable and satisfying. Personally, I think there's a lesson here about reconnecting with simpler, more self-sufficient ways of living. But here's the part that really got me thinking: she doesn't feel like she's missing out. When asked if there's anything in the supermarket she can't afford, she mentions fancy ice cream, but even then, she's not pining for it. What makes this really interesting is how she's redefined what luxury means. It's not about having the most expensive thing, it's about enjoying what you have. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just a story about budgeting, it's a story about resilience, creativity, and gratitude. She's faced tough moments, no doubt, but she's turned them into opportunities to thrive. In my opinion, that's the real takeaway here. It's not about how much you earn, but how you choose to live with what you have. So, here's my closing thought: what if we all approach our spending with this level of intentionality? What if we prioritize making over buying, and value over convenience? It's a challenge, for sure, but one that could transform not just our wallets, but our entire relationship with consumption. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on this.